What is a division order? Do you have to sign it, and what does it mean for you as a mineral owner? Today, we're talking all things division orders, and I'm gonna walk you through how your decimal interest is calculated. So stay tuned and learn something. Howdy folks, my name is Steven Hatcher and welcome to the Minerals Guy channel. On this channel, we share tips on minerals management, mineral valuation, and how to achieve maximum value for your mineral rights. I acquire and manage mineral assets for a living. I'm also an oil and gas attorney with over a decade of experience buying, selling, and developing oil and gas properties all across the country. I created Minerals Guy to provide tailored content and education to mineral owners just like you with the goal of educating and empowering you to understand more about minerals as an asset class. If you're getting value from our content, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so that you get notified when we post new videos. In this series, we're covering mineral rights management, and we're gonna teach you how to manage your mineral rights like the pros. This is part 4 of our series, and today we're talking about division orders, what they are and what they mean for you. So let's dive in. Part 1, what is a division order? When I get a division order, typically it's a pretty good day because a division order means that you're about to get paid. A division order is a document produced by an operator that records an owner's interest in a specific well. It will include the name of the well number, the type of interest that you own, and your decimal interest. Now, a division order analyst is someone who works in the land department at the operator who's responsible for creating the division orders and generally managing the paydex for oil and gas wells. And when we think about division orders, it's important to think about the process that the operator goes through to acquire legal rights to drill an oil and gas well. So an oil company identifies a location where they want to drill an oil and gas well. Landmen are sent into the field to conduct title research and to acquire oil and gas leases from all the mineral owners in that given area. After the leases are secured by the operator, but before the well is drilled, the operator is gonna hire a title attorney to come in, review mineral title for all of the leases that are going to be included in the spacing unit for that well. After all, the oil company does not want to drill on lands that they do not have legal rights to and commit trespass. The attorney's title opinion is basically a confirmation that the landmen did their job correctly. In every title opinion, the attorney is going to list certain requirements or curative work that needs to be performed to ensure that the oil company has those rights and that they pay the correct people. After the title opinion is rendered, the oil and gas company will seek a permit and they will move the drilling rig in to drill the well. Now, after the well is drilled and the company makes the determination that they're going to complete the well, that the well is going to produce oil and gas in commercial quantities, the oil company is going to go back to the attorney and ask them to render what is called a division order title opinion. And the division order title opinion is going to list all of the parties that own an interest in the well, whether they're lessors, lessees, or working interest owners, as well as the interests of all of those parties. And the interests of the parties to a well are going to be expressed as fractional interest or decimal interest. And what I mean by that is that the paydeck for every oil and gas well adds up to 100% or 1. Think about the paydeck like a pie chart, where each royalty owner, each working interest owner or lessee, and the operator will all share a piece of the pie. Once the division order title opinion is completed and the operator has completed and they're flowing back the well, the division order analysts are going to build the paydex for the well. And they will send division orders to all interest owners in the well. And this is basically the operator saying, hey, this is the interest that we believe, as confirmed by our title attorneys, that you own in this oil and gas well. So when are division orders used? Division orders are used when new wells are drilled, but they're also used for existing wells when ownership changes. So let's say that you inherited producing mineral interest from your parents. You're gonna receive a division order from the operator when that transfer is made. Part 2, your decimal interest. By far, the most important provision of the division order is going to be your decimal interest. And as I mentioned above, your decimal interest represents your piece of that oil and gas pie. So how is your decimal interest calculated? It's calculated by multiplying the number of net mineral acres that you own by your lease royalty rate, and then dividing that number by the size of the production unit. So for example, if you own 40 net mineral acres leased at a 20% royalty and you're in a 640 acre spacing unit, your decimal interest would be 0.0125 or 1.25%. Now, at this point in the series, you should know how many net acres you own. If you don't, you should go back and watch our prior episodes where we talk about your oil and gas lease and your source deed. But how do you determine the size of your production unit? Well, sometimes your division order will say it. If it doesn't, you can find that information on your State Conservation Commission website. And if you have trouble with this, just shoot me an email, steven@mineralsguide.com, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Now, once you find the size of your unit, you can also use the decimal interest from your division order to back into the number of acres that you are being credited with in that well. And you would do this by multiplying your decimal interest by the size of the unit and dividing that number by your lease royalty rate. So in the example above, if your decimal interest is 0.0125, you would multiply that times 640 acres, the size of the unit, divide that by 0.20 or the royalty rate, and you would arrive at 40 acres. Now, in modern horizontal development in states like Louisiana and Texas, it's not uncommon for operators to drill across unit boundaries, essentially stacking existing units on top of one another. Now, here's an example of two 640 acre production units that are being pulled together with multiple 2-mile lateral horizontal wells. Now, if you're dealing with a cross unit well, or allocation wells as they're known in Texas, you need to take an extra step to calculate your decimal interest correctly. This is because each of those units is going to share in production from that cross unit well based on the length of the lateral in each unit. So if 50% of that well bore is in your unit, you would take your unit decimal as we calculated above and multiply it by 50%. Part 3, should you sign division orders? So when we think about whether to sign division orders, there's the legal application, which is going to be different for every state, and then there's the practical application, and we're going to talk about both. Now, from a legal perspective, in most states, division orders will not modify the terms of your oil and gas lease, meaning that if the decimal interest provided to you by the operator on your division order is wrong, signing that division order is not going to change the amount that you're owed. Basically, you're not agreeing that you're going to own less or more acreage, or that some other provision of your oil and gas lease doesn't exist. What you are agreeing to is that if the operator pays you incorrectly, so think overpayment, you are going to be responsible for paying those funds back or indemnifying the operator. Now, this could be done through recoupment, where the operator will place you in suspense until they recoup the overpayment. But I've also seen where operators have actually filed suit against lessors to recoup those funds. So when we think about proper management of mineral rights, it is important to review your division orders, review your decimal interest, and to ensure that that decimal interest is correct. So are you required to sign division orders? Well, it depends on where you live. In some states like Louisiana, execution of a division order is not required to receive payment from an operator, and it's actually illegal for the operator to withhold funds for failure to sign a division order. However, in other states like Texas, operators can legally require execution of a division order before rendering payment. As a practical matter, if you see something wrong with your division order, for example, you do the calculation above and it appears that you're being credited with 20 acres rather than 40, reach out to the land department at the operator and see if you can work it out. My experience both running the land department for an operator and receiving division orders as a mineral owner, the division order analyst and landman at the operator want to pay everyone correctly. But mistakes do happen. If everything looks correct, sign the division order and send it in. This is the easiest way to ensure that you start receiving your royalty checks. So now that we've covered division orders, what's next? Well, I'm gonna show you how to read check stubs and to make sure that you're being paid correctly. Stay tuned for just a few more seconds and you'll see that episode coming up. If you're getting value from our content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you have any questions for us, you can reach us on the website, mineralsguide.com. You can also reach me by email, steven@mineralsguide.com. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next episode.